When it comes to creating amazing embellishments on outfits, one major factor you need to consider is the right choice of thread. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing all the types of threads that you need to know as a beginner beader or professional beader. If this sounds interesting to you, please watch the video all the way through. Do not skip any parts. I went straight to the point in this particular video. Remember to hit the thumbs up button. If you have questions after watching this video, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section. Like the video after watching or while watching. Right, guys, let's jump straight into today's tutorial. Let's go. Okay, friends, so these are all the threads that we'll be discussing for the sake of today's video. I'm going to move them to the side and start to talk about each one of them individually. All right, so the first thing I'm going to be talking about is what we call invisible yarn or invisible thread, like I like to call it, okay? Invisible thread comes in different colors. These are the ones that I have in my collection. We have this clear one and then this black one. This clear one is highly recommended for when you're working with illusion mesh, okay? This is the perfect type of thread to work with. I talk about this a lot and I've shown us in a couple of videos on the channel. One thing you need to take note of about this particular thread is that it's very fine. It's very slim, okay? Can you guys see how slim it is? Yeah. And when you use it on something like your illusion net, it comes out very, very neat. It almost creates like an illusion, like you didn't use any thread to basically bead your embellishments. You just simply just attach the embellishment to the net and nothing is holding the bead or whatever embellishment it is to the net. Okay, it's very nice, but the con is that this particular thread, it can be very frustrating to work with because it's very tiny. So if you don't have a very good eyesight, this will be very stressful to work with. Also, because of the way it's very fine and very slim, it can cut if you pull on it too hard. Okay, see how slim it is. If you pull it too hard, then there'll be problem because it might cut and then just ruin your work. But if you know how to work with it very well, this is very good. Most advanced beaders use this a lot because the years of experience and their expertise basically has allowed them the opportunity to be able to work with this perfectly without any issues. This is the second color that I have. This is just this same thing but in a different color. This is the black and this is the clear one. I hope we all understand everything that I've said about this one. The next thing I have here is my beading line or beading thread or beading wire. Different people call it different things, but I like to call it fishing line, okay? This is what it's most commonly called in my home country, Nigeria, right? This is the size 0.20 millimeters fishing line. This I got it off of Amazon. You can get this from your local sewing accessories shop, depending on your location. I will do my best to also leave links. I don't know why I don't always remember to put links in my description bar. So if you want to purchase this, I will put a link in the description bar. So feel free to go make your purchase off of Amazon. Okay. This is the 0.20 millimeters fishing line. It's very similar to the invisible thread, just that it's a bit thicker. Okay. It's also very slim, but it's not as slim as the invisible thread. I find this as a perfect alternative for the invisible thread. If you don't have a very good eyesight and you think, oh, this invisible thread is going to be too much work, this is a perfect spot. Okay, this 0.20 millimeters fishing line will work perfectly for you. It will also create something very neat if you use it to work on something like your illusion nets or your corset mesh. If you use this to bead on that, it will work. The good part about this one is also that you can also use it on fabrics, actual fabrics, on your lace, your African prints, your whatever fabric it is they are trying to bead on. This 0.20 millimeters fishing line would also work for you perfectly. The elder sister of this one is the 0.25 millimeters fishing line. It's just this same thing but a thicker version. Okay, I'm going to show us what the thickness of this one looks like. Can you see that it's slightly thicker than the 0.20 millimeters fishing line? Let me put them beside each other. You see the difference in the thickness. This is the 0.25 millimeters and this one is the 0.20 millimeters. This one works when you are beading on a very thick fabric. Okay, this would work perfectly. So like your African print, if you're trying to bead on African prints, this would work. If you're trying to make a beaded headband, this 0.25 millimeters fishing line will work when you're making your beaded headbands. For those that are new here, I have a couple of beaded headbands tutorial. If that's a business that you're looking to start off, I have tons and tons of videos on headbands that I've made for actual human beings. Okay, my customers in Nigeria, I made a lot of headbands while I was in Nigeria. Those that have been on this channel for a long time know all about that, era in my life. And this was one of my favorite types of thread to use when beading on headbands. This is the 0.25 millimeters fishing line. I also bought this off of Amazon out here in Canada. You can buy it off of Amazon in your own country or from any physical local sewing accessories shop in your location. This, I would not recommend this for illusion net. I feel like it's a bit too bulky. For the nature of illusion nets, this would not be a perfect choice. This works for actual like thick fabrics, okay? Up next, we have the 0.30 millimeters fishing line. This is it. You see that it's significantly thicker than the other threads that I've shown us. This is a thicker one, and I find this, it's a perfect choice when making beaded headbands as well. If you're working with bulky beads, if you're using like the size 6 millimeter beads or size 8 millimeter beads, this thread is good because it's going to hold your beads very well and make sure that the headband or the headpiece that you're making stays put, and no issue like, oh, maybe the stitches that you made cuts or the beads start to unravel when your customer has worn the headpiece that you've made for them. Or you can also use the 0.30 millimeters for when you're beading on thick fabrics, again, like your cotton fabrics, your African print fabric. This 0.30 millimeters fishing line is going to do justice to that and create a very firm beading. You can also use this 0.30 millimeters fishing line to do things like embellishment on, say, a t-shirt. Okay, if you're beading, creating like beadwork on a t-shirt, on a notepad, things like that, this type of fishing line will work. You can also use it for making bracelets. Okay, if you're into that line of work, making beaded bracelets, beaded earrings, this size of fishing line will do the job. It comes in handy for different projects. It all depends on the project they are making, but what you need to take note of is that the thread is thick. It's thicker than the other slim ones they are using. So when working on a fabric like illusion mesh, this is not an option. I do not recommend at all because it's too bulky and it's going to stand out under your net and it's not going to look nice. This especially is for somebody that asked a question in my comment section a couple of videos ago. She was asking what's the difference or what the implication of using 0.30 millimeters fishing line to embellish something like your illusion net. Look how bulky it is. Yeah, it's not the best choice basically. Also have the stretchy fishing line. This is for making elastic bracelets. When you are making beaded jewelry, this will work perfectly. All those beaded bracelets that people like to wear these days, this type of fishing line is the perfect one for it because it's elastic, it stretches. Even though this my own is very old, that's why the elasticity is no longer there, because I've had it for years now. See how the color has even changed. So it's no more good. It's not good. When you buy a good batch, you see that the elasticity is still there and it's not just snapping like this one that I have here. I'm just showing us for the purpose of illustration. Okay, this is the elastic fishing line that you use for elastic bracelets and things along those lines. If you want something beaded beaded, but you want it to be stretchy, this is the perfect type of fishing line to use for it. With this type of fishing line, you don't need to add hook. You know how you add clasp or hook to your beaded jewelry, like a bracelet, you put hook on it so that you can attach it to your hand. With this one, you don't need all of that. You just need to just do your beadwork and secure it with your stopper and create your beaded bracelet or whatever it is they are trying to create. Other types of fishing lines that we have here are fishing lines that are for things like beaded bag, beaded purse, beaded slippers, things like that. This 0.60 millimeters fishing line is the one that you typically use for things like your beaded bag. I have a tutorial on how to make a beaded handbag on here on the channel. That video has almost 100,000 views. A lot of people have found that video very useful. If you're thinking of starting a business like a beaded handbag business where you make beaded handbags for people, that video, watch it. replicate it, and you can start charging customers and making awesome beaded bags for them. But for that type of project, in that video that I'm talking about, this is the perfect type of fishing line to use. If you guys want me to make another beaded bag tutorial on the channel, drop it down in the comments. I will work on it. I have these ones. I got these from Nigeria, from I think it was Charity in my one in Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria. I bought this from her and I've just had it in my collection. I've not made another beaded bag since the blue one that I made on the channel. So yeah, let me know if you guys want us to make a beaded bag again. We'll make another style and then I will be able to put this into good use. So if you're doing things like weaving beads, and when I'm talking about weaving beads, it's things like your beaded handbag, beaded purse and stuff like that. This is the type of fishing line that you need to have in your collection. This is not an option when it comes to sewing beads onto clothes, things like your illusion mesh. No, this is not what you're supposed to be using. This is strictly for weaving beads and making, actual accessories when it comes to beading. Okay, beading is a very broad, career path. Is something that is very broad. You can do beading as jewelry making, as accessories making, as embellishment for fabrics. A lot of things can come out of beading. So don't use this one on fabric. This is not the best choice. Also, when it comes to weaving beads, this is the size 0.70 millimeters fishing line. It's stronger than this 0.60 millimeters fishing line. This as well, you can use it for making things like your beaded handbag, beaded purse, beaded top. So I've seen beaded tops these days, like actual tops that you weave the beads together and create like a top that people wear. This is the type of fishing line to use for something like that. Okay, I also have the 1 millimeter fishing line that I don't have with me right now. That one, I wasn't sure what I could use it for, but somebody in the comment section in a video where I shared that particular fishing line told me that they use it for weaving baby dresses. Okay, so all those ball dresses that little children wear. They told me that you can use that particular size of fishing line for doing the weaving of the edges of those types of outfits to create that ball effect. I've not explored, kids fashion, so I really don't know how that works, but she told me that it has its use, and yeah, I just took note of that when the person advised me in the comment section. Finally, when it comes to beading, we also have our regular polyester thread, which is what I have right here. Every time I say polyester thread in videos on the channel, some people are like, for me, which one is polyester thread again? Please, I'm sorry, it's English. I'm just using English to wound you people on the channel, but yeah, this is regular polyester thread. Okay, the typical thread that you buy from your local sewing accessories shop, the thread you use for things like your sewing, for your hand sewing, your sewing machine sewing. That's what we call polyester thread. This is it. Some people also use this. A lot of people, actually, I shouldn't say some people. People also use this particular regular thread for beading. I would not advise you use this for things like your illusion mesh. It's not going to look neat. It will show, it will pick through, and it will just not look, it will be an eyesore at the end of the day. This type of thread is perfect when you're beading things like lace, things that have lining that when you bead, you will not necessarily see the thread that was used in beading. That's when you can use this type of thread. So all of these things that I've mentioned, all these threads that I've mentioned in today's video, the way you use them all depends on what you're doing. So depending on the projects that you're working on, determine, is it this type of thread, this polyester thread that I should use? Is it invisible thread that I should use? Is it 0.25, 0.20, 0.30, etc.? Is it which of these ones will do the job perfectly? So before you even pick up your needle to do anything, determine what thread you're working with. If you need to restock, if you need to buy more, buy the quantity that you need for the project that you're working on and create something fabulous. I hope we all enjoyed today's video. After watching this video, I hope you now know the type of thread that works for what type of project, and you are ready to start making awesome designs for yourself and your clients. If you found this video very valuable, please remember to hit the thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, now will be a fabulous time to hit that subscribe button. If this is your first time stopping by, my name is Funmibi Olawore. I am a fashion enthusiast based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I come on my channel weekly to share videos relating to sewing, embellishment, fashion design, and a bunch of different things relating to the fashion industry that I think my viewers would find interesting. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you for watching today's video. And yeah, friends, I can't wait to see you all in another video very soon. Bye.